Captains. Welcome back once again to another video on the Dre Sanchez YouTube channel. We are here in Miami. We are flying for American today, and we are flying this American 318 Airbus A350-XWB. It's actually A350-900-XWB, extra wide body. We're taking this thing from coast to coast, from Miami, Florida to Los Angeles, California. Yes, one of the other famous routes of the JFK to LAX is Miami to LAX. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get on board this aircraft, as we are most certainly cold and dark. All right, let me just see here. I feel like I'm super close here. Let's see if we can fix this track IR up. Let's see, here we are. Let's see if we need to back up just a little bit here. There we go. All right, so we are on the VATSIM network. We are completely cold and dark. So of course, the first thing that we need to do is to come over here to our tablet and get that turned on. But before we can do that, we got to come up top and get some battery juice on, even in order for that to work. So in order to accomplish this mission, guys, we're going to kind of do this as a full flight tutorial is what we're calling this today. So we're going to go ahead and explain everything. So we're doing battery on. Let's do the emergency battery. We're going to do all the batteries here, battery 1 all the way to battery 2. So clicking these, of course, we're going to do all of these different systems up here as well. And now we're also going to do an automatic bus tie. And of course, now we need to come down to our tablet here, and we need to get some ground power going on here. Let's get this in a better view. Here we go. We're going to go here to ground service. You're going to go to ground equipment. We're going to put both the ground power units on, and we're going to set this up for plane at the gate. We're also going to need the fuel truck. We'll do chocks, luggage loader, and that's it for now. And then now, of course, we need to come up top, and we need to make the external power available, which we're doing. So with that being said, that is the main thing that we need to do with the electrical panel, just to get the bird up and running. Now the rest of this stuff, like the oxygen, crew supply, and so on and so forth, we have to remember on ground power. So anything dealing with the electronics, we can get it on. And let's also go ahead up here and get our IRS to begin lining, of course. And we're going to come up here and get some more of that stuff on here. It will say that the cockpit is going to be getting hot, if you will, if we don't attend to some of these switches. So now we're going to come down here to this FMS, and we are going to most certainly have to fix this up so that we can start getting out of here. Now if we go to IRS, it says a line available in 9 minutes, which is fine, but we still need to give our position. That's why we have to come over here to the FMS and go to the initialization, and this is where we're going to do that so the plane can start going through its IRS process. So first thing we need to do is from where we're going, from Miami, of course, and once you click that, it goes into the keyboard functionality of your actual keyboard, so that you don't have to actually pull up another menu and type it with your mouse. And of course, you just hit enter once you want to get out of that field. And then of course, the alternate is Ontario, folks. All right, now that we've got that in, we can go ahead and go to the IRS, which you see we need to click align. IRS aligning on GPS position. So now this 8 minutes is actually going to go ahead and start, but not to worry yourselves, because we have most certainly plenty of work to do. So while the IRS is starting to align, we're going to leave this right here, and then we're going to jump right on over here to our tablet interface here, which does many things. Now that we got our ground equipment going on here, let's see, we also need to think about doors and hatches. So we need this to be in the loading configuration, of course. So now you can see this automatically will open up select doors and cargo bays so that the aircraft can get loaded. All right, folks, let's go ahead and come over to the airplane menu here on our tablet, and we're going to go straight to passengers. We're going to do a heavy load just because we want to do it realistically. And as you can see there, that's going to put us 18 crew total, 19 first class, 34 business class, 170 economy. So if you look at that, that's 200 and roughly 30 passengers or so. Actually right here 241, so I was off by 11, just eyeballing it. And then again, you're going to hit implement, and this is passengers and cargo being loaded. Now we need to get over here to the fuel, and of course the fuel is going to need to be loaded as well. Let's see here, let me pull up my rusty dusty. Okay, so for fuel, our block fuel today is 36,124 kilograms. Our in-right fuel is 25,949, so we're just going to round that up to basically 26,000 pounds of fuel for our destination. Of course, we're going to enter. Now you can see that puts 12% in the wings. Our alternate fuel is 2039. We're going to enter that. Our contingency fuel today, according to our flight plan, of course I'm doing all this according to the flight plan, which I'm not showing you now because I'm trying to do this for brevity, is 1,400 pounds of fuel. Our APU time, I'm always going to be overdoing it for APU and taxi time because you never know when we sit on the ramp, and that's got us at 31,649 pounds. And of course I put extra fuel in here, so we need to make this about 36,124. So I'm just literally going to see what adding 4,000 in there does, and that gets us at 35. So let's do this to 5,000. All right, 36,600. So let's do 4,700 pounds. 36,349. I'm happy with that. So that's going to be what our fuel is. Now we're gonna, you can see this aircraft is such a beast. We're gonna be doing 4.5, well, almost 5 hours of flying. It's only taking 16% of the total storage in just the wings. No fuel in the center tank. This is how much of a beast this thing is. Let's go ahead and check our line time now. We're down to 5 minutes, folks. Now, in order to complete our power up, we're going to start checking this, and you see as I click that, it goes all the way down because we've already done all this. So we're going to just assume that this is done, and of course I have to get this in a position to where we can look at it like this. All right, there we go. That was all the way up. Let me just make sure my, okay, perfect. Now we might be able to go back to the other screen. Now it looks much better. Okay, now we can go to our next checklist. ECAM, auto mode check, NSS data, avionics, cab data, gate link, cooling, cab fans. So now what we need to do is come right back up top, and we are going to start looking at all that. Here's our NSS right here. Now we need to look and see our ground hydraulics. Here's some of the cabin cooling right here. We need to turn this on. We're going to turn these on as well here for the ground hydraulics, and we're going to get the air conditioning units going on there as well. And let's see, now one important thing we need to notice here when we do our checklist, this is our other cabin for our data, SATCOM, landing camera, and other systems on here that make the aircraft work. Now this passenger data says on. You need to open this up. Even though it says on, this was something that's given me a hard time for quite a bit, and that needs to be actually where it's not on. I don't know if that's a glitch, but that's what it is. We're going to wait to turn the hydraulics on here. Look, everything else up top is looking good right now. And let's go ahead and get our oxygen on and turn all this. Basically, you want to turn everything on to auto. And of course, we are getting ready to get this aircraft up and out of here. So we're going to get our logo light on, and we're going to get the nav light on the aircraft. And the rest of this good stuff, folks, we can leave for now. Let's go ahead and take a look. So So once we hit this, all this will turn green. We're satisfied with that. APU master switch is on, APU page, APU available. But we're not going to do this right now because we're not starting the APU. So let's go back to the normal procedures and cockpit preparation. We're going to skip a lot of this. If you look at these overhead panels, captains and purrs, seat belts, that's not on, temp selectors, APU, all this stuff, we really don't need to do this. This is the menu. If you really wanted to do it, you could. We don't need to do it for right now. We need to do our before pushback and clearance and at start clearance. So fuel quantity, we're going to go ahead and check that here in a minute. There's our fuel on board right there, the top of this, which is at the bottom of one of our MFDs. So we can select fuel quantity is checked. Final load sheet, none of this we've done yet, so we're kind of going to stop here. We got about 2 more minutes. Right now, let's go ahead and pull up our Navigraph charts just to take a look and see where we're at. And we probably will need to get the ATIS here in a second as well before we do that. But let me just give you guys a snapshot of where we're at on the field. Here we are, of course, and we don't know which runway we're taking off, but I'm assuming it's going to be one of these. More than enough runway to take off, especially right here, 26 left or 8 right. Looks good. So without further ado, let's we're going to do a comms check by way of actually turning on our radios first. You have to know in this aircraft, once you get in here, and let me orientate you guys from the actually captain's chair, everything I'm looking at. This is our center panels here where we're working on our checklist and our FMS. We've also got another redundant FMS on here, which is not used. Here's the lower pedestal. This is where we're going to do all of our stuff for our ECAM stuff over here and our status pages. Here's our left and right communication consoles, and of course here's our left and right control center to use the FMS and the checklist sheets. So as I'm looking around, and of course overhead, we were overhead. This is where I was looking at overhead. Of course, we also have a HUD there, which we're not going to use. So that's just giving you guys, because I'm just going to be doing quick views around here. So now that that's done, let's go back to this center panel right here, which we're just going to zoom over here. Now, the first thing you guys need to realize is you got to turn on the radios in this aircraft. So first, you're going to want to push this for volume, and you're going to want to make sure that volume is all the way up. All right, then to communicate or transmit, this has to be on. You can see that has turned green now. And then of course, this is VHF1, VHF2, VHF3, so on and so forth. And we'll get into other modalities that make this thing work. So let me see who is here. Let's check the ATIS, and just that's how I do a comms check. We'll check ATIS first and see what that is. Hopefully the ATIS is working. It's 19150. So we're going to come over to this side and type in 19150, which that is supposedly it. And then you just come over here and that switches over. But of course, we have to turn that on at least to listen. And I am not necessarily hearing anything from there. Oh, you know what? It might help if I had the actual right button on. It's this button here, EHF2. And we got to turn up.
Operate France West will be on taxi with the runway. Activity vicinity at airport. Hazardous weather information currently to the area available from ATC. All aircraft replan on both shortage and the size altitude. The size of initial contact. You'll have information Yankee.
So Yankees current. Some more information.
Miami International Airport ATIS information Yankee 00530. West was 40 and 5. Visibility was 0. Your clouds at 4 south. 25 south generous. Temperature 29er. Dew point 23. Temperature 993. Approach are being conducted to Carl converging into IFTX runway.
All right. So we can go ahead and shut that down now, so we kind of see how that works. So this is also going to be true for your PA system. So you might going to want to turn that on as well and get the volumes all the way up. In order to make these volume controls or to manipulate them, you have to left click and hold, and either as you're left clicking and hold, slide it to the right, and you'll see what makes this turn the direction that you need it to be turned on. Now there's some additional information here or functionality by way of these buttons here that we could use for the TCAS and the weather system, as well as the rest of our radio systems, but we're going to do all that using the primary system there. So for example, if you click VHF here, I'm sorry, even if you go to Squawk, you'll see this right here. So click Squawk at the on the captain's or first officer's communication panel up here, and you'll see this Squawk page. Now it says slave, meaning that this is not the controlling set of inputs right here right now, because it's going to be controlled by the FMS. Let's go take a look at that. Once you go to the FMS, you're going to highlight here. You're going to go to servos, or SURV, and you're going to go to controls, and then you're going to see some of the same thing that you saw at the lower pedestal. You're going to see it all right here, and basically all this, you can just turn everything to auto, get everything on, literally turn everything on here. Now if that terrain mode starts giving you a hard time, or the glide slope mode starts giving you a hard time on the call outs, you can turn these off and it will not yell at you. It's more than likely going to yell at me, but I like them on and I don't mind it yelling at me. Then of course right here, this is where we're going to put our squawk code in once we get it, but we first have to file for our clearance in order to do that. So pretty much we're not going to worry about that right now. You're going to come right back over here to servos again, and you're going to hit status and switches, and these are those lower buttons that you saw, the same thing here. So we're going to just turn all of these on. This is systems 1 through 4, and this has to do with our TCAS, our transponder, our weather, and our call outs, such as terrain and all that good stuff. So weather, this is for our terrain and ground warnings, and then this is for our transponder and TCAS, these two right here. So that's how they kind of work. So once you're done with that, and those are all turned on for now, you can come back over here to the FMS, and we still need to go back to this page here because we're not quite done. There's some other information such as our cruising altitude that we need to type in, as well as our flight number. We are American 318. Go ahead and enter that in, and then our cruising flight level today is going to be flight level 360 with a cost index of 50, which all this, folks, you get right from your flight plan. So we'll save this in here right now. We're not quite ready to do any perf stuff, but what we do need to do at this point is go ahead and call for clearance. So with that said, let's go ahead and pause that music here, and let me get on those clearance freaks here as you were. Let's see, Miami Center is still on. We have Miami Ground at 1218, so that's exactly who we are going to be contacting here. So now you can come to VHF here, and you gotta highlight this where it says standby. That turns kind of that teal color, 1218. Once that's entered, you can just switch it over, and we're ready to call for our clearance. So let's come over here to this view now and go ahead and call for our clearance. I need to make sure that my rusty dusty flight plan is up so that I can reference as to what they're talking about. Miami Grand, American 318 IFR, Los Angeles.
American 318.
All right, pretty responsive there. So it'd be nice to be sending us a pre-departure clearance via text, but I don't think that's going to happen. All right.
Southwest 550, welcome to Miami. Continue by for pop-up on 26. American, Miami gonna call you American 28245.
All right, so
American 350.
all right. While they're doing that madness, we can continue setting up here. All right, looks like they're having some issues there. So anyway, once you also start your initialize your aircraft on the ground power, you're going to see your primary flight display and your HSI, and you'll also see this already in this mode, which is not the accurate mode that you want to be planning right now. It's on the landing system here, and you have VOR. If you needed to navigate to a VOR, that's what you would use. This is the landing system here that you'll use in conjunction with this Lima Sierra button right here. But what we want to do is put it on the arc. So again, you're going to left click and hold and drag until you get to the arc. This is where our information is going to be, as far as the flight is concerned, illustrated right there. Yep, you got to stand by because we're still waiting as well. All right, 299er3. So we're just trying to be as productive as possible. Let's see, we can't really select the runway, start putting in the perf yet because we haven't even put in the flight plan. So he's still probably looking at my route, which is no problem. Let's look and see what else we can do here. Yeah, all of this information is here. We got our cost index, so on and so forth. Let's see, we can also I'm sorry for the background noise, we have fixed the issue, okay, so they're still having some issues there. This thing looks a little crooked. Let's get this straightened up here. Okay, there we go. All right, anyway, so here's some information, but this stuff will be put in. The zero fuel weight and all this good stuff is going to actually, we're going to put all this information in here. Once we can start doing this right now. Actually, if you come over here, get rid of that and go to perf, take off. Okay, this is going to be our final takeoff, but yeah, let's go back to fuel and load, and this is where we also need to put some information in, which we can actually do now. Alright, he's giving somebody else their clearance. Okay, so anyway, let me show you where you get the zero fuel weight, the center of gravity, and the block.
Via the Hurricane 1 departure, 5,000, expect 34,000, 10 minutes after departure. Contact departure on 124.8, squawk 1417.
Okay, so
6061.
fuel on board is going to be this block, so that's 36349. Alright. Oops, what did we say it was? 36349. 36349. Enter. Okay, I know this value is always messed up. Go ahead for American 318.
American 318, any chance you can connect under a different call sign, that being American 319 or American 320 or 317 or something like that, and then we file under that new call sign?
Oh, sure. Just curious, what's the problem with this call sign?
From what he's tracking you, he tracked you by mistake, and he's really busy and can't get a hold of him to untrack you, so I can't assign you the barcode, but there's that call sign, because you got to get back.
Okay, so you want me just to, also I'll reconnect under a different call sign, and then I'll call you back and let you know that we are formally 318. I'll talk to you in a second.
Yeah, stand by. He's calling in. Stand by.
All right, I'm standing by. All right, so they must have had some issue. They were trying to make me log off and re-log on. Not gonna happen. Okay, so let's get back to the fuel. 36349. So maybe we'll just do 300 and 3634. So we'll just do 363 and see if that works.
There we go. He fixed it for you. I got a squawk up when you wake up the IFR.
Okay, so you can go ahead with the IFR clearance. We're ready.
318, yes, he just fixed it for you. I got a squawk.
Okay, I appreciate it for American 318, and we're ready to copy our clearance to LA.
American 318, Heavy cleared LAX by the Longos 1 departure, then south, maintain 5,000 about a 6017 after departure, departure frequency 1Q435, squawk 140.
Okay, cleared to Los Angeles via the Bengoso 1, then is filed, climb maintain climb maintain 5,000, expect flight level 36010 minutes after departure, departure frequencies 124.85, squawking 1407 for American 318 Heavy.
American 318 Heavy, we've been correct, push please, correct.
Okay, roger that, and are we taking off on, we're expecting 8 left, if you know that, sir?
Ship left for 8 right, information,
Okay, thanks for that. We have Kilo looking for 8 right on departure for American 318 Heavy. Alright, so we're doing 8 right. Let's get these numbers right so we can get out of here. 36349.
Landing ground, American 1301 Heavy is requesting FR clearance to London Heathrow.
Okay, let's do 363.4 maybe. Let's see.
1301 Heavy, cleared Echo Golf Lima Lima Airport, Valley to departure, then found maintain 5.
It doesn't like that either. So let's just try 363. It doesn't like that either. See, I always deal with this. Let's see. We have to assume 36,000. Okay, so I think we need to do 36. 9. So we're gonna do 36,000.3. Let's try this. Okay, that's what it is. All right, 0 fuel weight. Now, where you get the 0 fuel weight is you have to come over here to the performance calculator and Yankees current for American 318 Heavy. All right, so you actually have to come back in here to passengers, and here's your 0 fuel weight is 187.6. Oops. All right, 187.6. 187.6, 187.6, and our center of gravity is 21%. As you can see here, 0 fuel weight, center of gravity is 21%. All right, so we have all that information here. As you can see, it went ahead and put some additional information there. We got our passenger numbers, 274. Now we can go ahead and start putting our plan in. And we're going to come here and just put in our departure. Runway, we're doing 8 right. Bongos 1, and we're doing a transition of Dolly. Alright, so now we're going to go down and start pumping this in. From Dolly, we're going to do an airway. And the airway is Yankee 280. And then from Yankee to 80, it's going to be VOR of Lima Echo Victor. When you come over here, we're going to add that in, insert, and keep going. I recommend inserting and looking at it and keep going. Don't try to do it all at once. All right, LEV Juliet 86 is the next airway. Juliet 86, next airway, and we're exiting that at El Paso, or ELP, which is a VOR. Insert that, we'll keep going. Also, one thing you just want to also kind of look at the headings and the jetways and make sure that nothing's crazy, because every now and then you can put a plane in that doesn't like. All right, next airway is Juliet 50. So Juliet 50 coming in there. Juliet 50 to TFD. All right. We're gonna insert that. All right, from TFD, we're going to Juliet 169. Juliet 169, we're going to Thermal. We'll definitely be over the Southern California Airways once we get here. Thermal's definitely on the Palm Springs area. Thermal and JLI. Direct JLI, which that is actually our transition. So from Thermal, so now we can just come here. We can do LAX arrival. Now we're going to select 25 left. As far as we know now, that's the standard. ILS 25 left, of course, and we're going to take that more than likely via Sea View. And the star we're using is the Vista 3. There's the Vista 3, and our transition waypoint is Julian. So we'll insert that. Now there should be this discontinuity, so you come all the way over here to the left, and we just get rid of this discontinuity. And then just make sure it all looks good before you accept. So we should be looking between Juliet and the last waypoint. So there's JLI, there's Thermal, and we are going to insert and modify. So now there are no discontinuities in here, folks. We're doing well. And the only discontinuity now is going to be on for the arrival, but we'll figure that out. So at this point, this is all ready to go. Now we just need to come over here and we need to go to our performance, and we're going to look at how we look for the runway slope. Okay, 8 right. Okay, let's do this math together. So here's how we're going to find the runway slope. Here's 8, 9, elevation 9, and elevation 9. So there's 0. So there's literally 0 difference between the runway. So there is no runway slope. Elevation 9 and elevation 9. So this is a really easy runway slope. It's 0. So if you guys ever run into that, lucky you. So now you can come back over here, go to our perf calculator. There is absolutely 0. So you actually have to put 0 in here for the runway slope. And now you have to set the flap setting, which is going to be 2, and you'll get our speeds right here. 57, 64, 57, 64, and 66. 57. 164. And 166. All right, folks, we're almost out of here. We're going to be cruising here in a minute. And so 57, 64, 66 flex temp is 51. And we're heavy, so we're going to do a toga, so we don't need to worry about the flex temp. Flaps 2, da-da-da. So we're ready to go. So at this point, let's come on up here now. And we're going to get our beacon on. And let's get our AP on. We're going to turn the master on. wait 2 seconds. Oh, a little bit longer than that. And click it now. Don't panic if you hit the master switch on and then try to click this right away. You got to give it about actually 5 seconds. All right, let's get our signs on there. Let's arm our emergency light. Once we get the APU up, in order for the engines to start, we need the APU bleed on as well as that. Alright, so we're going to be taxiing 8 right, so we need to push back with our nose facing to the west. So let's get that going now. Alright, we need to do a better pushback. It always does that. So second time's usually a charm.
A right via November, CJ 961, thanks. American 1301, runway E right taxi via Papa, give way, actually stand by, I think I have a Lufthansa coming into the ramp there, that's what I'm waiting for.
Ground to cockpit, plan acknowledged, call me through the menu when you are ready.
Stand by.
Alright.
1301, staying by.
So now
You guys are both type
our APU is available. So the generator is automatically going to connect. Once you cut it on, we can turn our ground power off now. Then we need to get the bleed open and the isolation valve to open. Now we can turn our hydraulics on.
Standing by.
And we'll leave our generators off. Of course, now folks, you know we need to come over here and go back over to the ground service. And we need to get rid of the ground power. And let's just go outside really quick and do a check. You can see all of the ground crew, they're done loading out here, so we just need to get rid of them. Don't mind this static aircraft in here, or actually there's another Delta guy who spawned right here. So that happens here on VATSIM, but don't worry. So now, let's go here and let's get rid of the chocks, field trucks, luggage loader, plane at gate. We need to go to doors and hatches, and we need to definitely close off.
961, confirm, is it left here or right?
We also need to go down here to the lower pedestal. And we'll get lights on once we get there. We need to lock this canopy. So see it's open. You want to go ahead and lock this.
Miami ground.
Now that that's locked, we are good to go.
Thank you.
Alright, and we need to put our squawk code in of 1407, which you can do here as well.
We have information. Yankee board ready. We're ready to American 23.
And again, it won't do it from there. We have to come back up here. Alright, remember you have to go to servos, controls, and 1407. We're going to go ahead and turn it to on as well. And we're going to do TARA. Alright, and guys, we need to come here because he did say we need to climb and maintain 5,000. Alright, so everything up here is top. We have up top, we're straight here. We got our flight directors on right here. We got our altimeters all set for 2993 with information Yankee. So let's go ahead and get our better pushback started.
Ground to cockpit, tow is driving up.
Alright, let's go ahead and do an initial look at our flight plan. You can see we're departing out here. We're going to take off and do a smooth, so that looks good for our routing already. Alright, leaving out, that looks good. Back on the arc.
TV 77.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed. Ready to connect.
Expect 5,000, 10 minutes after emergency. Flight over 380 as well. And departure on 24, this one's 85 for the next two.
Let's see what we got going on here.
14, Reback is correct. Copy for push to start. You can expect on the air. Very much to call back for taxi.
Alright, they're connecting up.
Around.
Now another thing right here we have to look at. Ooh, it's already lined up. 25%, 25% for takeoff. If that number was different, you would have to move it, and you would obviously see this moving. But we're going to leave it right at 25%. This is just messing with your trims. And we are pretty much ready to go, guys.
And bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
Alright, we're going to release parking brake, but before we do, let me get you guys some cams here.
Emergency 355, we're ready to section.
Second 2355, runway 8 right, taxi by November.
Alright,
Right by November, American 33.
we're going to go ahead and release that parking brake now.
Mike, Echo Alpha 961, contact tower 18.3, good day.
Parking brakes right here.
Good day,
Starting pushback. And you may start engines.
Use 25 park.
That would be Delta 1699.
Hotel 69, clear to...
Alright. Normal procedures
Maintain 5,000.
before pushback. Clearance. Load sheet is done. Zero fill weight. E-cam is done. Seat belts are all armed, of course. Thrust levels are to idle. Parking brake is off. Alright, I'm just doing my levers check since I'm flying with my Airbus flight controls here. They look good.
Ladies and gentlemen, we request your full attention.
All right.
Flight attendants demonstrate the safety features.
Got an old
of
livery
this
there.
aircraft.
You can see this guy was at our gate too. You gotta love
You must fasten your seatbelt, insert the metal fittings one into the other, and tighten
Gotta
the lining on
love
the loose end of the strap.
flying on VATSIM. You never know what you're gonna get. Alright, here is just a picture of the actual cabin as we push back.
4 on the left side of the cabin and 4 on the right. Please take a few moments now to locate your nearest exit. In some cases, your nearest exit may be behind you. If we need to evacuate the aircraft, full level lighting will guide you towards the exit. Doors can be opened by moving the handle in the direction of the arrow. Each door is equipped with
So we're probably gonna taxi via mic.
Oxygen and the air pressure are always being monitored. In the event of any compression, an oxygen mask will automatically appear in front of you. To start the flow of oxygen, pull the mask towards you. Place it firmly over your nose and mouth. Secure the elastic
Alright,
band
so we'll leave it there.
and ignore
Let me see what the tower frequency is.
Oxygen is flowing to the mask.
Miami approach. Miami Tower is 18.3.
Secure your mask on first, and then assist the other person. Keep your mask
So
on
back over here to
until the
VHF.
crew
Let's
member
just get this
advises you
program
to
for
remove it.
18.3.
In the event of an emergency, please assume the bracing position. Lean forward with your hands on top of your head.
18.3. Miami departures 24.
Ensure your feet are flat on the floor. A life vest is
485.
located in a pouch under your seat or between the armrests. When instructed to do so,
Just in case we want to leave from there, communicate that we have 24, but we'll switch it over. There's our ground, there's our tower, and then I'll put 124.85 in there, of course. And then if you go to squawk, you can see that
only when leaving the aircraft. If you need to refill the vest, blow
it's
into the
on.
mouthpieces.
It's on right here.
Use the whistle and light to attract attention. Also,
So we're not doing too bad, guys. We're about to start the engines and get out of here, which will
Operation
take...
complete. Set parking brake.
Alright, we can definitely do that.
Put your arms into the straps and hug the cushion to your chest.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
Electronic devices, calculators, CD players, laptop computers, may be used when the seatbelt sign is off, or when permitted by the crew. Mobile telephones, remote controlled toys,
Yeah, I don't think I
or
caught
any
the either.
electronic devices operating with an antenna must be turned off at all times.
Alright, so we're going to go ahead and crank it up.
This is a non-smoking flight.
We'll go ahead and start number 2.
Disabling or destroying the smoke detectors located in the lavatories is
We can see
prohibited
number
by
2 coming up.
law. You will find this and all the other safety information in the card located in the seat pocket in front of you. We strongly suggest you read it before takeoff. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask one of our crew members. We wish you all an enjoyable flight. Thank you.
Noise disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal on the left. We'll see you next time and have a safe flight.
Alright, once we get the other engine started up, we will go ahead and do our flight controls check, as well as set our RTO.
Miami Ground, United 731 Heavy, Yankee ready to contact R2 Atlanta.
All right. Number 2 looks good. Let's go ahead and get 1 started. Now, while that's happening, let's come over here to our wheel selection. Now you can see here we have the wheel selection on there.
Departure as filed. Departure expect to flight level 400.
All right, we got auto brake high, and all right, speed brakes arm, auto brake is armed. Still waiting for the left engine to start up. It will finish getting everything else in there in place.
Delta 4033, a right taxi by Mike.
You set your flaps, he'll be the indicator. So you just make sure, of course you can't really see it over here. Here we go. Flaps 2 selected, and we'll make sure it's indicated here. Let's take a look back at our engine. Alright, engine status is looking good.
Yes, I don't know how to proceed here, sir.
So now we can go ahead and get our packs on. And turn the APU bleed off. Alright, and let's get our generators on, of course. And now, everything up top should be good to go. Which it is.
Heavy with information.
Alright, let's go ahead and do our flight controls check now. Alright, flight controls check. Full up.
Okay, I will try once again by the
Full down. Aileron left. Aileron right. Alright, we're going to do rudder right and rudder left. Perfect. Alright, so that's done. So now we need to get this back into our systems. Check page. That looks good. Let's see. Brakes. Auto brake fault. Brakes anti-skid off. That'll get rid of that. And we just need to do the test. We're out of here. Alright, we're doing good here, guys. We're making magic happen. Miami ground, American 318 pushback, facing west, ready to taxi to runway 8 right with information Yankee on board.
American 318 heavy, runway 8 right, taxi by Mike.
8 right via Mike for American 318 heavy. Alright, so now that's done. We need to get our taxi light on. Taxi light is on. Alright, here we go, folks. Gonna go ahead and release that parking brake. Now, once the parking brake is released, guys, you need to hit this takeoff config button. And this is going to come back and let us know if the takeoff is okay. Takeoff config is normal. Let's get out of here, guys.
Contact tower now, 18.3.
Over the tower, double 33 will be.
American 214, just by target, please.
All right.
American 214, my gun. And American 2255, got you mostly now.
All right, so we're going to taxi via mic.
Hurry, static instruction, sorry, jumping 16
Delta 1699, runway E-right taxi by Papa, short Zulu.
Alright, we'll taxi 8 right via Papa, hold short, Zulu.
This will be mic that we're merging onto here.
Just confirmation that we have no charge estimated, so we're ready to taxi once again. American 2355, sorry about that.
American 2355, if more Charlie is activated, continue taxi now, November all the way down to A right, gonna be next flight, please.
Roger, 731 Heavy. Hey, we're pushing back right now. Can we make sure we hit runway 9?
Yeah, we'll go cut off right here.
All right. Just making our left turn here.
American details stand by, I'm dealing with some ground stuff right now. American 2355.
Looks like he's struggling a little bit there.
American 2355, slow down your taxi and give me way to company 1820 passing on your right hand. Break American 214, continue west line, you'll be number 1 now. Contact tower 118.3.
Continue via mic, contacting tower on 119. 118, that's not straight for American 214.
American 2355,
All right.
Go ahead and give way to an Airbus A320 big company traffic passing right to center on Mike, join behind him into the diamond, and just stay with me for now.
Okay, give way to the A320 company and hold on to mic for American 2355.
Delta 670 sequence going to be an American A320neo on the parallel taxiway November, right out of sight.
Delta 670, I have it.
Delta 670 going to be following that traffic. American 2355 continue forward contact tower now 18.3, number 2 sequence connect.
Contact tower 118-3, American weekend server for American 2355.
Let me see if I can fix one of the cams for you.
Join diamond behind that traffic, hold down to the right, contact tower 18.3, number 3 sequence connect.
Give way to the American at tower 118.3, Delta 675.
Let's try to frequency information to lose my current weight 160 at 4, altimeter 2995.
All right, there we go.
Heavy, continue mic all the way down, contact tower 18.3.
Get my information sheet out of here. All right, I've gotten a little bit better about checking. Go ahead for American 318.
American 318 heavy, mic all the way down, contact tower 18.3. Good day.
Mike, all the way down. We'll contact tower at the end. You have a good day as well for American 318 Heavy. We'll see you.
Delta 1699, we'll show Zulu.
All right.
A lot of short Zulu for
So he says we can switch it over. 18.3.
Miami Tower today, American.
And our departure is 2485.
670 mic tower.
There we go. We've got our departure in there, and you can see aircraft steadily leaving here. We will be next in our departure line. This aircraft is so large that, and there's so many moving parts. Like I said, I told you guys I was going to do the checklist, but that's almost impossible, you know, for brevity purposes. So at the end of the day, this is going to kind of be your religion, whether you're ready to go or not, is that takeoff configuration. So once we get in the air, we'll go ahead and fly the aircraft using the fly-by-wire, and then we will most certainly put on the autopilot when we get close enough. All right, let's get a little look and see what we look like. We are all lined up. We do look official, I must say. Miami Tower, American 318 Heavy, holding short, runway 8 right on Mike.
American 318 Heavy, Roger. American 2355, contact departure.
So we're all checked in. So we're going to be... Okay, line up and wait, American 318 Heavy. Alright guys, so we get the line up and wait. So let's go ahead and get all that madness on. I know you normally don't get it on until you get on the runway, but we're going to get it on just because we can. We should be, final looks clear. We should be ready to go here as soon as we line up.
American 670 contact, or correction, Delta 670 contact departure. Departure is Delta 670, see ya.
All right, Miami, it has been real. All right.
American 318 Heavy, RNAV Sea Salt, 1604, runway 8 right, clear for takeoff.
RNAV Sea Salt, runway 8 right, clear for takeoff, American 318 Heavy.
Another 1699, runway 8 right.
All right, folks, here we go.
5.8 right for...
Toga. Takeoff power is set. And Toga. Alright. And a lot of left rudder input there. Airspeed is alive.
V1.
Alright, gears coming up. Just gonna ham fly it. Over to departure. You have a good one as well, American 318 Heavy. We'll see you next time. Alright, we can go right on to autopilot. And let's go to the climb mode. Come over here to departure. Might be departure American 318 2,400 climbing 5,000.
American 318. American 318, Miami approach radar contact, climb and maintain 7,000.
Up to 7,000 American 318. Laps are coming up. And we got 7,000 in, which will be going up to. You see the aircraft is actually climbing quite smoothly and accelerating. We're starting to make our left turn.
I maintain 16,000, 600.
And we have a nice scenic departure out of the Miami area.
Into the Miami airport. As you can expect, Dallas pressure really matters.
Alright, aircraft is upping on its way.
Center, American 1301 Heavy, near it.
This is Miami approach. UPS 935. Land, American 130,000. Heavy, near it. Lower for you shortly. You can expect the Dallas approach from line 9.
Set that window there.
Maintain altitude.
Alright, let's get rid of those cam controls. You guys won't be needing that anymore.
Normal speed is fine for now. Southwest, Southwest.
Alright, we can go ahead and unarm that speed brake. Speed brake is
Okay. That's weird.
disarmed.
Southwest 1268 is coming up for me. Southwest 23.
Now we are at 7,000.
ILS pressure only 1.
Let's go ahead and get the runway turn-off lights off now. We can leave the landing lights on.
It's going to maintain 1,000 for now.
Alright, 1,000 is moving down to 312. Moving up the highway. If they not a controller, they did inform me that they're at least that one of the call signs of me. So, thank you.
American 2355, contact center 139 with 7.
Contact 135, there's 175, American 355, have a quick look into.
Oh yeah, we have a little problem here. Delta 670 traffic's 12 o'clock in 1 mile. That's 757 southwest down level at 3,000.
Such a beautiful departure here.
Delta 670, we don't have another mid-sight.
Okay, no factor now. Delta 670 contact center 135.17.
135.17, Delta 670, bye.
You've got 9 to maintain 3,000.
Beautiful departure here. Looks like we're getting up with some clouds here. Alright. Excuse me, I had to mute the microphone there. I was coughing away. Let's go ahead and get our range a little bit more sufficient so we can see where we're going.
So 1699, my name for trigger contact on maintain 16,000, proceed direct VMAX. Proceed direct VMAX for 99 and then 16,000.
like to remind you
It'd be nice if we can go ahead and get on our route.
For your safety, the lavatories have been equipped with smoke detectors. Damaging or disconnecting the smoke detectors is strictly prohibited.
See if we can get us a
On
better
the
static
overhead
view.
panel, you will find a personal lamp, air conditioning, and a flight attendant button. The lavatory for the business
16,000
passengers are
for
located in
American
front of the
318 Heavy.
airplane, and for the economy class passengers,
Alright, so
in the back
16,000.
center of the airplane. For your safety, when
American 318
sitting,
Heavy
we
contact
recommend to keep
Center
your
135.7.
seatbelts fastened, even when the fastened seatbelt
Miami
sign
Center
is on.
135.7 for American 318 Heavy. We'll see you next time. Alright, so 135.7.
1690, maintain 16,000. Miami 265.
Just verify this frequency really quick. It's 135.175.
Okay, no problem. Turn right heading 250 vectors from the approach.
Delta 670, thanks, and welcome. For American 1, it should be 32. You see, yeah, right there, it was 32.
Miami Center, American 318 Heaven checking in. 9,800, climbing 16,000.
American 318 Miami Center, getting the decline, maintain level 3, correction, level 280,
Up to flight level 280, American 318 Heavy.
for 2885, clear rate 8, across the sky, 10,000, under 2905.
Alright, so we're on our way. The aircraft has reached 10,000, so that means we could turn off our landing lights.
1467, clear direct.
Landing light is off.
Jingle.
One thing that I want to let you guys know is that if you're new to this aircraft, when you come to one of these features and it goes like this, that means there's another option. For example, this altitude, you can do it in increments of 100 or 1,000. I've got it back to 1,000. Usually when you descend, you need to put it back over to the 100s increment. That happens as well over here. For this, you can go between QNH and inches, which we use here in the United States. So anytime you see that on any of these functions or these buttons, that's what it's there for. Alright folks, so at this point we're going to continue to climb and monitor the situation at hand. At this point I think things are going really well. It was a nice departure. The airport was not too chaotic, and yeah, we can definitely get on our way here. To flight level 360, American 318. Now another thing to keep in mind, something like for this altitude knob, when it's a little finger that's pushing in, that's going to follow the FMS. When it's this hand like this, that's going to pull it out, and that's going to directly, the aircraft is directly going to climb at its most optimal rate all the way up to flight level 360 unrestricted, because there's no more restrictions in place. You can also see our vertical profile here, nice and smooth. And that, of course, is because simply we've got a climb to 360 unrestricted. Glad I caught that looking down here. I said, wait a minute. Now it's 360. It's at 380. So that's not right. Anyway, I believe it is time to get some music on and jam for a little bit. Which is what we will do. Not a whole lot more talking to do anymore. Like I said, let's go back here into the cabin area. Look out of there. Very large aircraft, might I add. Very large aircraft. I mean, you can see it's got a business class. I mean, you got to imagine there's more people on here. It just doesn't simulate that other than this guy and a few other people. Very nice aircraft to fly. And pretty smooth. Should be a nice smooth flight to LA from this East Coast. So we will see how things turn out during this flight. Until then, or I should say until we get ready for our descent, sit back and relax and just enjoy the flight. I'll probably edit some of this out. I won't have you guys look at the entire flight, of course. All right.
Desert 2021 ready to copy that. New fix you got? I have the Desert 2021 calling US Airport, redirect to Giga, Gulf India Hotel. Direct destination. Gulf India, direct, keep boarding the jet. Jetline 1467, turning Miami approach 124.85. Takeoff 670, contact Jacksonville Center 135.902. Jacksonville 135.902.
Alright, we've been cruising here for some time now. We are in Albuquerque Center. As you may have heard some of the radio transmissions, but he has since then signed off. And as we were proceeding, we just noticed, well, I say we, because I'm just including you in that, noticed some discrepancies in the flight plan. The FMS, for example, it's missing pretty much all of our altitude constraints. So I did happen to go in there and modify one, but it's not displaying it. For example, Julian, if you go in here and go to the constraints, it's here. I wanted it 280, and I wanted at or below flight level 240. So, and this is already in here. So, let's see here. Not going to step up. Let's see. So yeah, there's really no way to anything else with that, so we'll leave that there, and I'm just going to manually descend the aircraft based off of the chart. So we'll just follow it that way. We're pretty much on our own anyway. It's funny, it's still reporting this though, which is going to be incorrect. You need to be at a certain height just because of that terrain. Like I said, I think I'm just going to manually descend it. And if descent is based off of that, it's not too far off. I'll just probably start to descent around the same time and just make adjustments to get there at 14,000 feet. So we're doing our best to trick it. Don't know how far we got, but we'll be okay. This aircraft's had a lot of glitches. To me, all worth it. Especially once they got the capacity or capability to actually put stars and SIDS in there. It became super awesome. Alright, I believe today we are landing at gate 155. Gate 43. Yeah, okay, so we're gonna do gate 43. Just let you guys know, the winds are out of the west, of course, at 8 knots. Altimeter there is 2982. So we'll definitely stick with 25 left, and we're going to go for gate 43. So let's take a look and see where that's at, and how that affects our arrival. Alright, so it definitely makes sense. It's in Terminal 4. We're going to be coming on 25 left, and here is gate 43. So this is the Tom Bradley International concourse here, so it's just east of that, if you will. right here. So, and it's the very last one in, so we'll have to come up Charlie 10, and this is a larger aircraft here, but you can see these should be spaced out enough because that's the gate we need to be. It's 43 right here at Terminal 4. Normally this route is flown by a 777 wide body, so this is more than enough room to fit this aircraft in there as well. So gate 43 it is, folks. Alright. There's Seaview right there, so we're about 80 nautical miles out. We said it was going to be about a 66-mile descent, so it's actually got us getting ready to descend right now, so take us on to 14,000 there. So we'll let the descent start on its own. As you can see here, what I like about this, no matter what, we'll stop right at 14,000 anyway until we get to sea view. So definitely no worries there. Alright, coming right up on it. This is where you're going to want to make sure you push the knob in. Now that the knob is pushed in, the aircraft is going to do its best job to descend accordingly. Alright, let's go ahead and get all that back out. Keep an eye here on the speed. Alright, let's shut the music down now. We got some business to do. We have started our descent. So, let's go ahead and play these cabin announcements.
Ladies and gentlemen, we would like to remind you that use of all electronic devices during descent and landing is prohibited as it may interfere with the navigational equipment. Thank you.
Alright, not much to say for that. We will do our landing briefing here in a moment. So let's go ahead and kick the music back on and enjoy this nice little descent. We're going to be descending here for a while, for about another 58 miles or so. We're going to be descending on in. So enjoy the descent, and we should be on the ground shortly. We have our marching orders as far as where we need to be on our parking gate, Terminal 4, second to the last gate on the last, on the most western building there, if you will. So, yeah, let's see what we got going for tunes. let's go ahead and start plugging in some information in here now. Let's refresh the weather once again. And just see what we have here. Okay. Alright, I just refreshed it again. It's still 8 knots out of the west at 2982 is the altimeter. And since we don't have any air traffic control right now, we can go ahead and just set it for that now. Let's go ahead and set this side as well. .982 is set in. We haven't much to go to get to 14,000 feet. And then we'll continue the descent appropriately from there. Let's come right over here now quickly and start plugging in some of the information. So we can come over here to performance, and we're going to go to our approach. And the QNH is 2982, as we said. 2982. I guess it doesn't like that decimal. 2. And the outside air temperature Celsius is 20 degrees. And we said it's at 240, and it's at 8 knots. Oops. Was it in the field? But I was. There we go, 8 knots. And we're doing a radio altimeter of 200 feet. And we're going to do a configuration 3, so our approach speed is 146. More than enough there. Okay, we're at 16,000 feet, and we're definitely going much faster than I would like, so let's go ahead at this point, lead that speed down. To at least 250. And we'll be at 14,000 feet for a while, because I do believe Crane, which is going to be our next waypoint, is going to be the constraint for that one. I think I'm wrong on that. I think it's 10,000. Okay, yeah, once we get to Sivu, we're able to start descending for 10,000 at Crane, and 9,000, so on and so forth. So now we are at our prescribed altitude. So let's also come over here and let's turn our wheels page on. Alright, wheels page is there. Let's go ahead and get our brake set to 2. Alright, auto brake is set to 2. Auto brake is armed. Ice is not detected. We got some cloud. We'll leave our icing on, if you will. Alright, definitely time to get the music off. Things are getting real here. Los Angeles Traffic American 318 is direct Sivu, expecting full stop runway 25 left for Los Angeles traffic. Alright, let's just make sure we were transmitting 122.8. Perfect. Alright, everything's starting to happen much quicker here, so let's go ahead and arm our speed brake. Auto brakes are armed. Ice is still not detected. We're still going to leave it on that. Let's go ahead and put this back in status. Alright. Bring that back to the 40-mile range. Getting that to 10,000 now, so that as soon as we get to Sivu, we can go ahead and pull that out and do our descent, and we'll go ahead and slow her down to 230. Alright, so let me take a good look at the airport info here. So, our best bet once we get off the runways to either get off on Hotel 6 is really it. Either Hotel 4 or Hotel 6 is where we should plan to get off. Let me show you that. Okay, we're gonna get off 25 left. Here's Hotel 6 or Hotel 4. We get off Hotel 4, we need to go left here. What happens a lot is pilots confuse these three, Hotel 4, 5, and 6 here, but that's really what we need to do so we can come over here, and we're parking over here in this area. So we'll see how this goes. If we shoot it, we overshoot it, we'll come back on Lima and we'll work our way back. No big deal. No big deal at all. So I like our speed. We're right at 250. We don't have any weather on here. We had a little bit shown on the radar earlier. Alright, everything looks to be calm back here so far. So far, so good. Passengers haven't revolted or anything like that, so that's healthy for us. So once again, our approach speed is going to be 146. I'll manipulate that. We'll probably keep it right at 146. This configuration here coming on in, and then of course the go around here. Transition lap 35, 174, lean 195. So we're more concerned with the approach, of course, and actually pretty soon coming up we'll be able to put that localizer on and have it start following the glide slope, but we're going to do our best to make sure that we adhere. For example, we're getting ready to actually, we are already direct crane. I don't know how I missed that. So we are way above the power curve here. That happened way. Let's see, at gate. Let's just do a rapid descent here. 25 left. Okay, at gate we need to be at 5,000. Alright, so we're definitely going to be using some brakes here. We're going to go full. And our speed about 170. All this is happening fairly quick. Alright. We're getting ready to be below 10,000 feet, so let's get all of our landing lights going on here. Alright, and I guess at this point I should go ahead and get you guys some cams before I forget. Alright, our cams are up. Nothing is frozen this time, which is a good thing. I'm going to check for some traffic around us, and we're going to do a little bit of a turn here. This is just not going to work, so let me check the traffic around us via VATSIM. Okay, we're pretty much clear to do this, so we'll just assume that air traffic control is going to vector us, because we're definitely not making well, let's see, our speed is way too high though, so I'm going to make a nice little left turn. Just to get our speed down. Alright, let's make sure that speed brake is back armed, auto brake is still armed. Alright, we're just making sure we stay at 5,000 and are able to... Alright, I like our speed. Let's go ahead and go one stage flaps down here. Right at 180 for now. Flaps 2. We'll come and do a northern turn here in a second. We'll be back on track here in no time. All right, here's our turn to the north. And then there's gate, that's where we needed to be at 5,000 anyway. Then here in a second, what we'll do is this will activate direct gate. Alright, we're pretty much there, so let's go ahead and come over here to flight plan. And we're gonna go gate and overhead. Insert. Huh. I don't even know how to go direct on this thing. Oh, direct to. That's what it is. Actually, we shouldn't even have to do this. We can just manually do the turn here. Actually, we could have just really pushed this thing in. Los Angeles traffic. American 318 is 5 nautical miles from gate. Expecting full stop runway 25 left for Los Angeles traffic. Airways, hold, insert. That's what we needed to do. Boom. Direct to. I wonder if that did the trick. There we go. So that's how you do that, folks. Alright, so now we can go ahead and activate the stabilizer, which is captured. Hit that approach button, which was a save. Alright, so we got about 15 nautical miles until the runway. Los Angeles traffic, American 318 on a 15 nautical mile final, full stop runway 25 left for Los Angeles traffic. It's getting interesting here. Of course, I made it interesting with my mistakes there. Alright, let's get ready to bring this bad boy in. Go ahead and landing gear down. Our approach speed. And now we're going flaps 3. Auto brake, on smoking, and let's get our icing turned off. Just gonna go right through a cloud here. Alright, flaps 3, 3 selected. Let's go back over to our menu here, because we always want to have perf up. And again, verifying 146. All right, landing gear is down and confirmed. Sure didn't do any checklists, that's for sure. Lucky we're getting on the ground as is. Do one last check on our wheels here.
2,500.
Because everything is green is down. I always get paranoid about that. Alright, you can see our landing system on here. It's giving us a good reference of the field there. You can see those crosshairs, that's where we should be touching down. Alright folks, it's time to grow up and be big kids. Alright, landing gears down. Auto brake arm, speed brake arm. Everything is looking good. Autopilot off. Steady as she goes.
One thousand. $500. 400. 300.
Terrain. Terrain.
Minimum 200. 100, 90, 80, 70, 60, 50, 40, 30, 20, retard, 20, 10, 10.
All right. Reversers are on. Nuts. Looks like we're not going to make that. Can make this next one here, which is reverse free. Apply some brakes here. Let's see. We'll come up to Hotel 9. Welcome to Los Angeles International Airport. We had a pretty decent landing. I was looking for the butter, which we didn't get. Alright. Alright, we're literally going to come across here. And we're going to cross right here on Lima. Los Angeles traffic, American 318 clear of runway 25 left, crossing runway 25 right, Lima, taxi in to gate 43, terminal 4 for Los Angeles traffic. Alright, so let's go ahead and get that APU on, strobe, boo boo boo. Everything else is looking good right now. So guys, not a bad flight. Not a bad flight at all. Let's see, flaps up and clean. Hopefully our gate is available, of course. Stay on this to Bravo 8. Ironically, it does look like our gate is available over there. So that is a good thing. Let's see, strobes are off. Nose, landing is off. All right. See, we've got an American guy here. American 136. This is American 318 A350 coming in at gate 43. Are you getting ready to taxi out, sir? I don't know if he's voice capable. Wonder, can we slide in there? American 136. This is American 318. And I see that you're still in the ramp area. I will be coming in, taxiing to the American side, gate 43. Are you getting ready to taxi out, sir? Alright, let's just send a little message here. I'm going to go ahead and set the parking brake really quick. Parking brake is set. And, yeah, let me go ahead and send this message here so that we don't have any confusion. Get rid of these cam controls that we no longer need. here fighting with my keyboard. All right, let's get this message going here. Let's see what American he is. Oh, there he's moving right now. So, no need to do that message. Let's put my keyboard back up that I had to put on my lap. And we'll keep it moving. Alright. Maybe he heard us, but he couldn't transmit back, so... And he probably, I wonder if he came out of that gate as well. Okay, roger that. I see right in front of me, American 136. This is American 318. Have a good flight, brother. Okay, roger that. Alright, so we are back in business. Let's get that parking brake off. Alright, there's 49. Let's see. That's 47, 45. Let's see here. Is there a spot? That is the question. I don't think this is even sufficient for us. So let's go down. And if not, we'll have to, that spot over there look really nice. Okay, there is one spot for us down here. Okay, that's 45. So it is actually 43. And according to the records, this is where Boeing 777 parks. So this ought to be interesting. So actually, we are going to get gate 43. Alright, let's actually go out and see what we're working with here. Alright, parking brake is set. Alright, APU gen, so now we can go ahead and get everything shut off. Let's get the packs off. See, generators off. Alright folks, welcome in to Los Angeles International Airport. All the snafus, we made it. We made it. We'll just open that isolation valve open just for the fun of it. We'll run that APU power. See, the old gate came up through. Alright, packs are off. Engines are off. Passengers have arrived safely. Let's go outside and take a look what we look like before we get into the replay, of course. It's time to celebrate. Even though the plane's in there slightly crooked, not my best parking job, but most certainly at least we made it here to the American Concourse, and the passengers can disembark all through this front door up here. So alright folks, let's get into this replay.